Greetings and welcome, everyone. It's an all-you-can-geek movie cast. I'm one of your hosts, Jim Gass, joined by Mike Sneedy,
What's up?
Ray Feinside,
Heyo.
and Tony Korkanakis.
Yo yo yo.
Welcome, guys. Welcome, listeners and viewers. We're live on Twitch right now, Tuesday nights, starting at 8 o'clock. So please join us for these great broadcasts. If you can't check the live shows out, all the stuff's over on YouTube. If you're watching that there, we appreciate it, guys. Leave us a like, a comment, subscribe. Really helps us out. Welcome to the episode, guys. We got, I guess, not too much watch going on myself this week. I mean, a lot of baseball, which is now over for me,
Yeah.
unfortunately. Yeah, for me it is.
Yeah.
But
According to you, your biggest off-season acquisition depends on the result of the World Series, which is pretty
This is true.
crazy to say, but that's what you think.
Yeah, we'll talk more about that later. So I did get to watch some more Dragon Ball Super. I'm starting to get through that again. Finally, I'm on episode Goku Black episodes. So whatever I'm in there.
You've been
50s,
on and
somewhere in
off
the
this
50s.
for like years.
Yeah, no, I'm still working on it. I don't care.
Okay.
I actually have the drive now to do it. So I'm actually doing that. But I did watch
I've heard this
Kingdom of the
before.
Planet. What's that?
I've heard this before.
I know. Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. I finally watched that movie from this year. That was a good movie. So that's the not really reboot. I mean, it's a new team. Obviously, no more Andy Serkis, no more Reeves. Matt Reeves doing this. Mike,
good.
I
Even
love the
they're
trilogy
tired
that
of
he
it?
did. Huh?
Good. They're even tired of it.
Yeah, they moved on. But they did a good job with
We're
this
doing
movie.
Batman
I
now,
understand.
right? So
Yeah, they're
What?
doing Batman. Serkis is doing. He's Null in Venom. It looks like so. That's happening. That sounds like that's confirmed.
That's a one
but
and done thing. Who cares?
I don't know. I heard he's a big bad. We'll see. We'll see.
This is
for
the last
Sony,
Venom.
it doesn't matter.
This is the last
It doesn't
Venom.
matter.
There's no other.
It's the end of a trilogy.
And it's
Yeah,
the
but I heard he's going to
Sonyverse,
be moving into
so-
the Spider-Man universe, so we'll see. But
There is no Spider-Man universe. It's all over the place.
well, I did like Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. The only thing I would like to gripe about is Tony's normal gripe on things when it feels like we're kind of going in circles. You know what I mean? Like it feels like
Spinning
okay,
wheels, yeah.
yeah, spinning the wheels. That's the one. That's what I'm looking for. They're like it's not like it was a bad story they're telling, but it's like we're decimated here. We're ending here, and then we begin, and then we end again. You know what I mean? Like that's it.
Time
It's
is a
just like
circle.
how
It's
many
the
times
wheel
are
of
you?
time.
How many times are we doing this here?
Yeah.
But it looked great. It had some good moments, emotional wise, for that stuff. I liked it though, so it was good. But that's really my big thing for the week. I don't think I watched anything else. Oh, besides the Penguin, which phenomenal show.
Yeah.
I
no,
can't
keep
rave about
hearing
it.
good things about it.
IGN. Tony posted something about IGN's review. I don't know what they watched. I don't know because
Almost like
you could
like what I was gonna say is like almost seeing that makes me like, oh, now I want to see even more because I know it's probably actually good.
yeah, like it is true. Like you could argue it's not phenomenal. Like I'm saying like it's a good 8-9 right now. I mean, you could argue it's lower than that. I get it, but a 5. I mean, come on, come on. What are we doing? Like, it's ridiculous because the show is very good. Like I can't
We do a clickbait.
recommend
model.
it enough, you guys.
There's back to the clickbait model.
I guess that's really what they did. I mean, they get people talking about it. I guess that's the
Yeah,
goal,
that's
right?
pretty much it.
Even bad news is good news.
Yeah.
So, but so the
Rock
Penguin was
traffic.
a very, very good episode again. It really gets me excited for the next Batman movie. Like, and that's what this is. I guess is that what they want to do? Drum up the hype a little bit for it.
Well, I
'Cause it's a
heard
long
that
time.
I don't know if they
the character in this
coordinate
is supposed to be supposed to play a
Yeah.
big part in the next movie.
Yeah. So that's what we're hearing. I don't know if that's confirmed, but there's a major new character from this this show that's maybe it's supposed to transition to Batman too. So we'll
That
see.
would piss me off. Like I just don't understand why. Like
Because you
why?
won't need the context. It's more of like this is like an origin story for them.
Why?
But you don't need it for the film. Like I'm pretty sure you'll be able to just watch the movie and not watch the series. That's the key. That's the problem that Marvel ran into. Is it almost it required you to watch these other things, and I feel like you can still tell a good story while enhancing the stories of the minor characters with these shows. Like you don't need to know the stories of these minor characters, but if you want to, it's there. You know what I'm saying? Like it's there. That's the idea. That's what I think, but I don't know. So that's it for me though. Mike, what have you been watching?
mostly baseball. A very
Yeah.
very exciting series for me, and that's where I was last week in person, which was fun. So
Yep. Yeah.
I was happy to watch it, and it gets even more scary now. So
Yeah.
we shall see.
Mm.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
it.
you're there.
No time. No time for anything else. But yeah, no.
Yeah. I get it.
Yeah,
If we
unfortunately,
had,
the sports, the New York
yeah.
sports scene's been pretty good.
Corey's week has been really bad. Sorry,
Yeah.
Corey. Um,
I had both
but
the games on Monday night. It was not a good time. So
yeah, yeah. So,
Yep.
oh, but yeah. Anyways, what have you been watching besides anything? Corey?
Yeah, not too much of other stuff,
Sports.
but we'll be getting back into it now. So
Yeah, I got free. That's what happened. I watched Kingdom. I watched Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes yesterday,
maybe
which
I'll
would have
check
been
out Penguin
would have
today.
been a ball game. It should have been a ball game, but it wasn't. So I watched that. But Tony, how about you?
Let's see. I finished up the Tomb Raider, Lara Croft anime, cartoon, whatever you want to call it, and it was pretty good actually. It continues the story, I guess, of the reboot trilogy of the 2010s.
Right.
And finish that off. So I guess I got spoiled on some things, but I never intended to finish that
Play
trilogy
the
anyway.
games,
So
yeah.
it's like fine.
Is that like what studio is that? Is that American studio that's doing that, or is it Japanese studio?
I think it's an American studio, or maybe European.
Okay.
Like it's anime because Netflix just
Right.
labels it as anime because it's easier to explain and sell. But no, it was pretty good. It sets up Lara in an interesting place, where I feel like she can probably move on with a lot of the baggage that I'm assuming happens in that trilogy because I never played the second or third one and stuff like that. So that was good. And then I also watched the Gundam CGI series that came out on Netflix called Requiem for Vengeance.
Yeah.
And I was really enjoying it up until the last episode with the ending.
Oh no.
No.
And like, I understand what they were going for with this, but it's one of those things where it's just like, nah, man, you lost me. Like, you completely lost me with like this message you were trying to like tell here about, because like any Gundam story is ultimately about war is bad, right? It's like
yeah,
war is bad, and there's bad people on both sides of the fence, right? But this takes place in the Universal Century timeline, right? So this is the 40-year-old series that I'm sure when they were writing it originally, they didn't think like, oh yeah, this is going to be something we're going to live with for the rest of our lives. It was just a story to tell. But like the way that series starts out is you have it's like a modern day sci-fi thing where people are on Earth and then they have space colonies. People live out in space. And the people out in space, these colonies who have never even set foot on Earth, are like governed and whatnot by the governments on Earth still. So a bunch of space colonies are like, why do we keep having to listen to Earth when they don't care about us? They don't care about our needs. I've never even been on Earth, blah, blah, blah. And they strike an, kind of like a rebellion thing, right? And like the whole conflict starts with royal family just being like, hey, we're gonna rebel. Like, we're declaring war on the Earth for our freedom, blah, blah, blah. And a couple colonies that were sympathizing with Earth, that like wanted to stay allied with Earth, they just gas these people, use the colony to drop it on Earth. It splits apart in the atmosphere, like hits 3 different areas, like wipes out Australia basically, hits I think Canada and somewhere else, I think part of Asia or something like that, and like basically wipes out half the population of Earth. So that's how the series starts. It's just like, okay, so again, you get to that like both sides are bad thing, but when you set off at like that is the like declaration of war, it's really hard to come back from and be like, well, actually both sides are really bad, because it's like, well,
one side is starting off by killing half of the other side.
Yeah, exactly, right? So this series takes place in this timeline, and it's shot from the perspective of the bad guy people, the Zeons, right? But it's trying to make them kind of sympathetic, where it's like, oh, we're just soldiers in this war, and we're trying to, fight for our freedoms and stuff like that. And it's just like, yeah, you are, but you also, essentially dropped a metal meteor on Earth and killed like half the planet, right? And fucked up the atmosphere and the environment and stuff like that. Which they don't really touch upon, obviously, in the story, because it's like, we got to make the Zeon people like look heroic and You know, they're sympathetic and stuff like that. But anyway, like the last episode, it ends, and it's like I was really into it up until, like I could look past that all until like the very ending where I'm just like, no, you whatever message you were trying to, like, I get it. And if this were different, if you're like, actually this is a rebooted thing, this is its own story, like we're using bits and pieces, and don't pay attention to like us dropping a space colony on Earth, I could see what they're coming from. But it's just like the weight of that just does not measure up to what they're trying to convey. So whatever, the story is fine. Other than that part, the CGI is like a mixed bag of like, okay, this is cool, but then also it's like these are like PS3 CGI sequences and stuff like that, which it's not bad, right? Considering what we had like 10 years ago,
then.
Right?
It was a choice then.
It's an improvement, but like I don't know, it's weird, right? Because like any other Gundam series, it's like 2D hand-drawn animation, which again is expensive. It's all like that.
Yeah.
So we'll see. It was all right. It was worth a watch. It was a short series. It was 6 episodes, so it's not like a big.
Telfei asked, like MGS5 PS3.
Yeah. Yeah. There's parts where it's just like, and you can see them reuse a lot of models too. And obviously, like, I mean, obviously the mobile suit models they reuse because that's easy. It's like you make it once and you can just reuse it and stuff like that.
Copy.
But so what the one thing I will say that the series does really well is, for those of you who don't know, the original Gundam series like comes out. The Zeon forces, they're more technologically advanced with their Zakus and Goofs. So they're winning the war, and then all of a sudden the Earth Federation comes up with a new mobile suit, which is called the Gundam, and this Gundam is like 2 steps ahead of like what the Zeon forces have. So the whole story starts with like them, the Zeon people, like being like, yeah, we're gonna take over like this section of Earth and stuff like that, and all of a sudden a Gundam shows up, and it's like Terminator or Predator, or just like this thing is like what's happening, like things are just dying left and right and being blown up, and it's just like we can't even scratch this thing. Like no matter what we do, we can't stop it, we can't scratch it, we can't hurt it, and it's just kind of like that whole thing of like them feeling hunted down kind of thing. So it's interesting from that perspective. I appreciated that angle, because usually it's like when you see it from the heroic side, it's like, oh yeah, this is a giant robot, it's like a, you know, Optimus Prime, like he's here to save the day, versus like you're protected from the other side where it's like this thing is a monster and it's going to kill us all. So that was nice, but I appreciate it for, you know, whatever it was, something different and experimental, and yeah, hopefully maybe Swan's a sequel that is less divisive with its ending.
Yeah
because that's the very first thing I did. I looked up, I was like, I don't know how I like this, how I feel, I don't know how other people feel, and this is like all these messages like, yeah, I don't know what that like last part was, like if you just took that out, like it would actually be good. And I was like, yeah, okay, that's what I thought.
Okay. All right. Let's go into the box office. We talked we talked about last week, but Smile 2 opened to 23 million. That was number 1 movie.
What is Smile 2? Is that a horror movie?
Yeah, it was. Yeah. It did 48 worldwide, which is pretty good for that film.
I don't think anybody. No.
Yeah, probably.
It's the girl that played the Pink Ranger from the American.
The original?
No, from the remake.
Oh,
the newest one.
You gotta say that. You gotta start off with that, because like you got me excited. I was like, really? Like she's acting? Okay.
And we were talking about that remake last week.
And Aladdin. She was Jasmine in Aladdin.
The first one was very like indie success, like viral success. It kind of was like very successful with the amount of people that watched it. This one, obviously, they said they done a really good job with the sequel, so it's gotten pretty good.
That's good. I mean, horror movies are great because it's generally low cost. The audience knows that, hey, things might not look the greatest. You can hide a lot of stuff with darkness and shadows and whatnot, practical effects, you know, et cetera, et cetera. So, Wild Robot number 2, Terrifier number 3, Beetlejuice at number 4, and We Live in Time at number 5. So where's Joker at? Joker's not in top 5.
Let's see what Joker did last week. $2.1 million last week.
Yikes!
Total gross made 56. It is not going to make 60. It made 56.
So this is doing less than Transformers 1 did, and that's
yeah. Transformers 1 is 56.6, and this is at 56.4.
Oh, it might. Well,
they are neck and neck.
They're neck and
Depends
neck.
on the drop. Depends on the drop next week.
Only one of these was a sequel to $1 billion movie, though. So
yes. I have goofed on that massively. That's going to be a good conversation for of the year. Or, I'm sorry, our not anticipated, bolded predictions when we
Bold
review
predictions,
ourselves. When we review our predictions next year, early next year, it'll be quite funny to go over that. So, yeah, that's your box office. Nothing really of note. What's opening? Anything coming up? I'm trying to think of like what's coming out.
Venom.
Sonic soon?
That's not Venom. No way. No, yeah, Venom is coming soon. Is Sonic soon? Sonic, I thought is around Christmas, isn't it?
Christmas time for Sonic.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Like Christmas
All the
week.
way to Christmas?
Yeah,
Thought it
Venom
was
is
earlier.
opening next week. Is Venom or is it this week? Oh, Venom is this week. It is this week. Yep, opens this week. So,
I mean, Gladiator's coming out soon also.
that I will tell you, Venom is not tracking well. 65, I think, opening they're looking at so far. So a downward trending for the last opener, sequel, third. Every movie's downward trending. Not a good mark for it.
No,
it's
well, I
not
mean that's
keep
why it's a
getting
final
worse.
one, and
Oh.
I don't know. It was just one of the things where I think people were kind of okay with like, hey, this is different, right? It's like Venom, like you
Yeah.
know, whatever. And even the sequel's like, okay, you
First
had
one's
some
fine.
goodwill, right, from the first one,
Yeah.
but like by the third time, like
Yeah.
without Spider-Man, is anybody really interested in Venom?
Yeah, and like Carnage is also like the most other
Yeah, you kill him
well-known.
off.
Yeah.
So it's like, yeah, he had the goodwill, and then you just kill it all. Like with that second movie, it's like there's nothing else. There's no coming back from that movie. I don't know how.
Crossover with
Yeah, we'll see.
Morbius.
Morbius, yeah. You guys forget the movie of the year is coming still. I think soon. Craven.
I don't know
still
how
this
it could be worse
showed
than Madam Web. I really don't.
No,
I
I,
really
think Craven
do
will be
not.
fine compared to some of these other Sony movies. Like it's probably gonna be better.
No, dude.
No,
I cannot say anything redeeming about Madam Web. That
I know, but
like there's zero.
I don't-
There's nothing.
yeah.
How can
I
I was gonna say, like,
know,
how
but-
can Craven be worse? And like it's probably better than Morbius, and it's probably better.
I truly think Sony can
Why do you
surprise
think
us.
that?
I truly think Sony can surprise us. Not in a good way, by it. I'm not talking this is going to be good.
Who are you asking, Mike?
I'm thinking it could be good. I mean, bad. Sorry.
Like,
Really,
You
really
think
bad.
Craven's gonna be
Sorry,
worse than
I'm
Madam Web?
behind.
Yeah, I think it could be. I think it could be.
What?
None of you have even seen Madam Web, right?
No, I just heard your conversation.
Right,
about
so
it. I
you
don't
have no
want to
idea
see Madam
what
Web.
I've been
I
through. You
don't.
have no idea
You
what
told
I've
me
been
the whole
through.
movie. I don't want to see Madam Web.
Right, but I'm saying like there's not even like an action sequence. I'm gonna be like, okay, well at least this part of the movie was good, right? Like they suit up in a dream sequence or a future precognition thing. Like it's the only time they wear suits in the superhero
And like all
movie.
their advertising is like Sydney Sweeney, so it's
Yeah,
like
exactly.
It's true.
All Craven has to do is have one good fight sequence, and it's like, okay, you're better than this other movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One fight sequence.
Yeah. So
and it's probably gonna be better than Venom too, also. So I mean, not this Venom, Venom 2, the second Venom.
okay,
movie.
Venom 2. Got it. Okay,
Venom, comma 2.
Venom 2. All right.
Venom 2, comma.
We'll see. December 13th for Craven, guys. It's
All right,
still
well,
coming.
okay, so I bit the bullet on Madam Web. Somebody has to bite the bullet on this one.
I mean, and I bit the bullet on Maximum Carnage.
You did.
So, or
You
whatever
did.
it's called.
So it's between Jim and
Wait,
Mike.
But you watched Madam Web at home. You didn't go to the theaters.
I don't
to
even
see it,
watch
so
superhero movies.
it doesn't
you guys
matter, I
consider
watched
good
it.
it
now.
won't be out. It won't be out until after the end of the year. though.
Jim's gonna
That's what I'm
take it, Mike. Don't worry. He's gonna watch it.
Wait,
I
when
might
does
watch
Craven
this.
come out?
December 13th.
It'll
So
probably be
like-
out in
It'll
video
be
by the end
out
of the
within
year.
a month.
Yes,
I
but
was
it's
gonna
next
say
year.
before
It'll be
2020
next year
I
when I
bet
watch
you
it,
it's on
so-
video before 2025.
Yeah.
Oh boy,
I-
that's a fun one.
Yeah.
I mean, if Joker can make it out in 3 weeks, I mean,
Yeah.
Craven can pull it off. All right. Anyways, so yeah, that's happening at some point. All right. Let's see. Let's get into some news. So we've got a couple things going on this week. Bad news, good news, stuff like that. Good news: Daredevil Born Again. They had Comic-Con this
Yeah.
weekend. We're very late this year.
trailer
Wasn't it?
got leaked online.
Was it Comic-Con like a week later than normal?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
'Cause it's usually on
It's
your
usually the first
anniversary
weekend. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but yeah, so they had Daredevil there. Daredevil Born Again. The Charlie Cox was
Seems
there.
fitting, I would say.
It's
That's-
D'Onofrio.
I mean,
I did like the return of Daredevil to Comic-Con, New York Comic-Con.
Mhm.
But coming March 4th,
20,
right?
yeah.
March 4th.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It's 2025. Yeah.
Not too bad. Yep.
Coming soon.
Yeah.
Looks pretty good.
I'm excited for that one. And yeah, I mean, it's getting the R rating. I am very excited for that one. I
Whoa,
think that
no way.
Right.
Marvel's getting another R-rated thing? That's weird.
Yep.
I just remember, we talked about that before and said it was never
Yep.
going to happen.
No, I mean, the other thing that may never happen that could be R-rated is Blade. It's now been delayed indefinitely.
Good.
So
You know what?
Snipes-
I'll say
Snipes
good.
is right.
Good. Fuck Blade.
There'll never be another Blade.
That's
There'll
fine.
only be
And that
one.
is fine. I'm okay with that. Like, at no point was ever
Yeah.
like, yeah, I need another Blade.
There's a rumor that just as we started recording this, I saw that they've actually greenlit a Midnight Suns movie instead. That may be why they put it on the Infinite Hold.
I mean, that would
We
be way
do get
more
a Blade,
interesting.
but just not a Blade movie.
Yeah, that may be.
Well, I mean,
Maybe they just didn't like the way it was working. But
depending on
And
how...
it'll be Wesley Snipes.
No, they won't bring him back.
maybe that's why they canceled this. Maybe they want to go back to Wesley Snipes. Maybe they like the reception they got.
No, there's no way.
I don't think so. I
That
agree
was
with
the
you.
last
guys.
hurrah.
I agree. That was a closing of the story.
Yeah.
But it's possible, I guess. But
I mean, with the Midnight
so-
Suns, at least you get the ensemble type of thing.
you
So
get to premiere Ghost Rider. You get to premiere. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah, I mean, I think you could probably... You get Ghost Rider, you get Doctor Strange involved, you get...
don't you technically get Morbius in this?
You could get
Midnight Suns?
Morbius.
Yeah.
I think you could get Moon Knight involved too, technically. I think he was part of
I
it.
can't
at
remember
some
who's in
point.
Midnight Suns.
I don't know.
So-
I only know the game, which is not necessarily the traditional way it
Yeah,
happens.
no.
It's not.
I don't know.
It's not. It's yeah. I think the Johnny Blaze, Ghost Rider, and like not the Johnny Blaze Ghost
Black
Rider.
Knight in it, because then you get Jon
Yeah.
Snow back.
That's true. You could do that
Ugh.
maybe, but I don't know. That's what I heard just as we started recording. It's unfounded at this point, but they did delay indefinitely. There's no release date for Blade. So
That's fine. That's more interesting to me than another Blade. We're just like...
I agree. So, all right, God of War TV series starting from scratch. Showrunner and producers have left the show. Yeah, Sony and Amazon are apparently looking to hire new writers and take the series in a new creative direction.
Who was the old crew that left?
I
Did we
didn't
have
even
details?
know this was. I didn't know this was far enough along to have that. I thought it was still in the early planning, but apparently it was moving along. So, because I know they announced it last year, but I didn't think we didn't hear anything. So I guess they.
Right, so
They,
there were no names attached in the article?
No, I don't know. Let me see. I can read that part. That was the tweet I posted. I can look it up for you guys. Give me 1 second.
I
Besides
think
Jen.
they already
Yeah.
found another showrunner. Yeah. Ronald D. Moore is now going to be the showrunner.
I don't know who that is.
It's according to Deadline from 2 hours ago.
Oh, they just found that. Oh, that's cool. There you go. Look at that.
Yeah, new guy.
On the news right now. So, showrunner was executive producer Rafe Judkins and executive producers Hawk Otsby, Mark Burgess have departed the project. That's the word. That's names that have departed it. So, and they didn't have any writers' names in this article. So,
They had been with the show since its inception 2.5 years ago, also, according to that article. So now it's this guy who I've never heard of him.
so
Yeah.
Judkins is in charge of Wheel of Time, series adaptation. He's the one that just left the show. So, that's your Wheel of Time, guys.
Mm.
All right.
It's probably a good thing.
Yeah. Let's see. First trailer for Love Hurts. New action film starring Ki-hai Kwan as the leader. As the lead. Sorry.
Lead actor.
Jesus, as the lead.
I was like, lead,
As the
leader or
lead
what?
actor, yes. The leader. I'm like, what am I
The
saying?
leader.
So this is an action movie. Fight coordinator behind John Wick involved. February 7th coming to theaters. Ki-hai Kwan is going to be the lead, which is cool to hear. It's exciting because his like comeback is so... It's like so good. Like it's such a good feeling comeback. Like didn't know we needed it until we got it. You know what I mean? That's the cool thing about it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's exciting to see him get his a lead role in a movie here. I hope it's great.
Did you see the trailer?
No, I just saw you posted it. So how'd it look?
Good. I mean,
You can describe. You can help. me
sorry,
out.
I didn't know I
Like,
needed to
it's like,
describe it. Nobody watched this.
No,
Okay.
no, he's like a real estate agent, and he gets
Yeah.
a mysterious envelope or something from his like partner, a
Yeah.
partner that he thought was dead.
Yeah, so like, I mean, he uses some cliche tropes, kind of like, I don't want to say directly, but like it gives like some, was that a Mr. and Mrs. Smith vibe where it's like Ki-hai Kwan plays as, like Corey's saying, a real estate
Suburban-y.
agent. He's like super good at it and stuff like that, but it's like, oh, he has a dark, mysterious past as some sort of I don't know, hitman, assassin, fighter, whatever, and stuff like that. And he disappeared, but then his brother, who's apparently evil boss man or something like that, finds him and is threatening him and stuff like that. So it's like, the whole like, well, I thought I was out, but they pulled me back in kind of thing. It's like stuff like that. So it's just some cutscenes, and it's like it mixes the martial arts choreography with like some gags, like he's beating up on some guy in his offices, and like his coworker or secretary or whatever assistant is like knock on the door like, oh, you look sweaty, and he's like, oh, I'm just doing some yoga, like.
Is it like a Jackie Chan?
Yeah, it gives you some like Jackie Chan vibes, right?
That sounds cool. That's exciting.
Yeah,
cool.
Yeah. So certainly that's a genre that we don't really have anymore these days. So
Oh, it's cool to hear.
Good,
yeah, because Jackie Chan's getting a little up there. He can't really do those things.
Oh, he's
anymore,
up there. Yeah,
so.
No, he's.
Yeah.
Well, he's gonna be in the Karate Kid Legends.
Yeah, he is. I saw the poster.
Man,
I don't know how that's gonna work.
I did not know about this.
I don't know how that's gonna work.
May 30th, exclusively in theaters next year.
And we don't have did we get confirmation that it's like its own thing? It's separate from Cobra Kai?
Yeah, it doesn't say. Johnny did shoot a scene for it though.
Oh.
Yeah, so I do think
I think it is continuity.
Yeah.
Oh,
it's gonna be there.
I was in the impression that
I don't know if it's like I don't know where it takes place with.
We don't know in the timeline. We don't know in the timeline where it's at. That's the only problem. So.
Oh man.
All right. Yeah, we'll see.
No confidence in that. No confidence.
I don't either, especially because it feels like they're throwing it together as fast as possible.
Yeah, it definitely felt like, oh, well, Cobra Kai was its own thing. Now that got popular, we should cash in on the Karate Kid name, right?
That's what it feels like. It's like, hey, we're ending this. We don't have stories to tell anymore. Let's do a movie.
Yeah.
Let's throw it together quick to cash in on the show.
Yep.
So, which is why I think the show got delayed to the 2 parts because of this movie, to try to keep the gap a little less.
3 parts?
Is it 3 parts? That was 2.
I thought
It's
it was
3?
3. I'm pretty
Oh
sure.
God, are you serious? God damn it!
This
is all the movie's fault. This is all the movie's fault. Yeah, there's 3 parts. February 13th, part 3. So it's definitively why they did this. Definitively to keep the trend, so they can end like that. Yeah,
Well,
definitively.
maybe this is like...
I'm gonna confirm this for you guys right now.
I'm gonna confirm this.
I got no sources behind this. I'm just going timelines. All right, let's talk. The James Gunn DCU was at Comic-Con as well. Give them credit. They were there. Like, did we ever really get a presence before? We didn't get a presence at New York.
Well, no, DC was never really there, and it was surprising because I don't think did they show up to San Diego Comic-Con? I don't think they did.
I don't think they did. That's what I was trying to look.
Anything out of that? So that's...
I don't think anything was ready. That's the problem.
Yeah.
Like, there's a lot of stuff coming up now. So he was there, James Gunn, and went over like a lot of the DC stuff, and I really wish somebody could help me understand what the hell's going on because it's confusing to me. Specific events from the DCEU, which is the previous universe that Henry Cavill was a part of, will be canon to the DCU, but only when they are mentioned in the new DCU projects.
Only if we feel like it. Like, we feel like this should be canon, so we'll make it canon. But
thank you.
It's how we feel today. What side of the bed did we wake up on?
Everyone has this multiverse out, so yeah, basically that means stuff we like, we'll pretend it happened. Stuff we didn't like, we'll ignore.
Yeah, they're just gonna pick and choose. So one example given of what is still canon: Rick Flag is still dead. Gunn says in Creature Commandos explicitly they mentioned Rick Flag Sr.'s son is dead. So,
Rick Flag Sr. will appear in the DCU.
In Creature Commandos.
Well, he's in Creature Commandos, which is canon to the DCU.
That's canon. The DCU.
And Clayface is in it apparently, so Clayface is in the DCU.
So even more specifically, the stuff that James Gunn wrote himself will be canon, and everything else won't be.
Correct.
Well, we don't know about what else.
Right. He's running it.
Wonder Woman's up in the air. Aquaman's up in the air.
Yeah.
Flash.
Blue Beetle. No, Flash.
Blue Beetle's done.
Oh.
I mean, Blue Beetle's out. If like Silo's not. He just got cast to the Marvel thing, right?
Did he?
Did he?
I don't know.
Someone said something about that.
I don't know if it was confirmed yet. We'll see. Let's see. There's no overall aesthetic for the DCU. Instead, each project will be artistically distinct. Every single project. This is a quote. Every single project that comes out of DC Studios is going to be its own thing. It's a connected universe, but we're not imposing overall aesthetics. Rick Flag Sr. is going to be in 3 DCU projects. He's going to be in Superman, Creature Commandos, and Peacemaker Season 2. which
Cool.
I can't believe it's getting a second season based on the old universe's stuff that is not happening now. That's confusing, but
I mean, it didn't really have much to do with anything else
the
that
ending
happened there.
did.
The ending, it was like a glorified Easter egg.
Yeah.
It didn't matter. You didn't even need that.
And they're just ignoring whatever they want to ignore anyway, so it doesn't
I mean-
really matter.
I mean, that's fine on paper, but it just sounds like they need to establish, like, hey, clearly, like, these things happen right now, and be like, okay, cool. So, like,
Mhm.
you can use that. Not be like, well, we don't know, but so we might use these characters and stuff again. It's like, but then people, like, then you have just people, like, waiting, where it's like, oh, well, who's
Wait, is
Wonder
this ever
Woman?
going to come back?
Right,
Right.
Yeah,
what's
we don't
happening
know.
with
Is this
Wonder
going to
Woman?
That's
matter?
what we don't
right?
know. Yeah.
And stuff like
Does this
that.
That's
thing
fine.
that I love actually count towards anything? It's like,
Yeah, so
who
like
knows?
I really wish he just would have come out and said like, "Hey, we've identified these things as, entry level canon to the new, lore or whatever story," and, and been like, "There you go."
Or like say like I know there's some open-ended questions on these certain things, but they will not be part of the going forward. So just forget about them. Like those, that would be
Just
simple
forget-
as well.
Well, it seems to me that they're probably going to look for an in-universe way to do this, where again, multiverse nonsense will explain what's happening
With Superman?
with
I don't know.
anyone.
Well, how? Well, I
Maybe-
mean, Superman's
maybe even-
first, so how are you gonna do that with Superman?
I don't
Well,
know. We already have an
Doesn't look like they
ensemble
are.
cast with Superman.
Yeah,
So
we don't. It doesn't look like they're tying anything in from that, but or trying to close any loose ends from that. Peacemaker is shooting right now, season 2, very different season, very magical. He says.
there you
Superman
go.
trailer will arrive relatively soon.
Super Bowl.
I think. I said Super Bowl. Yeah, I think Super Bowl makes the most sense for that movie. Crypto plays an amazing role in Superman. He's got an incredible part of the story. He came into the screenplay and kind of changed everything up. That's his quote from James Gunn. No,
Very
Sure.
Like we talked about last time.
Sure.
I know.
You make a
Uh,
raccoon and a tree lovable. Who knows?
That's
what you
right.
can do.
He pulled that off. Editing's going on Superman. Let's see. Alan Tudyk has a secret role in Superman, and it's not his character. He's in Creature Commandos as Dr. Phosphorus, but it's not that.
He does a lot of
Sure, yeah.
voices, so he might be doing like a
Disembodied
CGI character.
voice, Yeah.
Let's
Maybe
see.
he's
Supergirl.
Crypto.
Maybe. Maybe he's doing the voice of Crypto. That could be.
Probably.
Supergirl starts filming in January. Let's see. James Gunn has seen a screen test for Supergirl. The actress tested alongside Millie Alcock as Supergirl for Ruth.
I still just cannot believe they're going from Superman to Supergirl. Like,
They're saying it's a completely different take on a superhero movie. The script.
how? How do
Whatever
you?
that is. I don't know.
God,
Tom
yeah,
King and James
why
Gunn
not?
created the initial story for Lanterns. They sketched the concept during the first few months of DC Studios. Lanterns is very grounded. How is Lanterns very grounded?
Jesus
It's
Christ.
the most opposite of grounded you can get.
These rings give you
Let's use our
magical
imagine-
powers of your
Our
imagination.
imagination,
but it's gonna be
our
grounded.
imagination is a power. That's that's not grounded, but no.
Your weakness is yellow.
And that's pretty much it.
Maybe
Yeah, I don't know. I still feel like I did the last time we talked about this. It's like everything is depend. Like they could say whatever they want. I get you have to, right? Because that's what people expect you to and stuff like that. But like honestly, it really just they need to get Superman out and it needs to be good, and then the other pieces of the puzzle can fall into place. Otherwise, I do not care. I just don't care about any of this other stuff.
I got you.
Also,
I agree.
same thing with the execs, because if something falters, they'll just scrap all these plans immediately, because that's what they do.
No,
Yeah, I mean, I think, like you said,
the
Superman's got to be a
fucking
good movie.
Snyderverse lasted for a decade.
Right, because they kept half trying.
Well, that's what he's saying. They might keep half trying still.
I
for this.
know, but they pivoted, but then they didn't. Like they went back and forth several times.
They still got 10 years out of it. You're saying they're gonna do it immediately. That's a difference.
Yeah, that's their.
Well,
that's
If
I
James
mean, I
Gunn
think
gets
it's
10
more
years,
like-
that's completely different than being like, just
So
scrap
it
it.
could also
two
mean
movies.
like different projects just get canned and they start a new project here or there. Like that could be what's going on too. Like you get 10 years,
Possibly.
but you might get a couple of movies out of it, not necessarily a full slate of 10 films or something.
I don't know. So, I think, like you said, we said last week, Superman is the big gamble right now. Make sure it's a good movie. I don't even know if it has to be super successful as long as it's
No, it
got
just needs to be good.
reviews.
It just needs to be good.
Yeah.
Like, here's the thing. I don't think Superman could make $1 billion. I don't.
No.
Even if it got A+ cinema score, everybody's raving about it. I don't think it hits $1 billion right out of that gate just because DC is so tarnished right now. They're at the all-time low in terms of public perception, in my opinion.
Interest-wise,
Yeah.
Who's it for?
Right.
Like,
Well, I think,
who's it for?
I don't know. I disagree in that sense because I think people want to see a good DC movie. Like,
Do
if
they?
a movie,
I
DC
do.
movie is good.
I do.
Fans of DC that have been shed on for 10 years
What
that we just
fans?
talked about.
What fans? They're all gone. Well, they
Well,
lost
that's what I'm
Mike.
saying. Well, and
Mike's
that's
done.
my point.
Mike's
That's
like,
what
I
I'm
don't give a
saying.
shit about DC at all anymore.
Yeah, that's
But
my.
no, what I'm saying is like the fact that they you put out a good product and then it's like, oh, well, look at what the Joker did. Like people came out, well, not this Joker, but the first Joker. It's like,
Not this
hey,
the first.
No, that-
like, you put out a movie that
Turns
people
out.
liked and they came out in droves. It's like, you know.
The
So
Batman.
I think if it's Superman is good, it could do $1 billion. I don't think it will, and I don't think it's
Oh,
going
well,
to.
I mean, okay, we're talking in suppositions. Okay, like I'm willing to say, Superman will not do $1 billion. There's no way in hell Superman does $1 billion. Potentially, sure, right? On paper, sure, but realistically, there's no way in hell. The franchise is tainted. The character is tainted right now. Like it's just, there's nothing going for that fucking franchise.
I think they'll be ecstatic if they get the 700. I think they'll be
Oh yeah,
ecstatic.
if they
I,
go,
mean,
if
I,
they do
I don't
700
know if
million,
they're ecstatic. I think they're expecting to get $1
700
billion.
million would be a huge
No,
W
they
right
can-
now. A huge
It
W.
would be, but I'm just
way.
saying I disagree with what they would think. Like,
They're over the
they
moon
probably
with the
think it-
Batman's performance. We got a show.
Were they-
We got a sequel out. We got that out of the Batman,
Mhm.
right?
That
What
was
did that?
750, right? That was
Yeah, it was-
750.
Yeah, no, I know.
Was it
They were
700?
happy.
was
I mean, over the moon. I wouldn't say over the moon. When your competition's getting $1 billion.
Jim, go to Box Office Mojo. Look at the last 10
gonna look it
DC
up.
movies.
DC films.
But I'm not talking about. We're talking about people's perceptions of WB
I
executives.
know. I'm talking about WB executives right now.
They are not. They can't be happy.
One
with,
of the-
like.
Was the Joker the
They-
last time a DC movie
I'm
did?
assuming like that or like whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, they had
Yeah, that
had
was the last
hits,
time a
right? They
billion.
had Aquaman, they had Joker. Like they had $1 billion movie franchises, and they just shot on themselves. I'm just saying, when they had those and their expectations, like their expectations are higher. I'm not saying they're right about it. They should be like they're. I think 700 million would be great for
I mean-
Superman. I'm just saying they probably think they should be making $1 billion because like, look at
Oh,
Deadpool's
no,
making
I
$1 billion.
agree with
I
you.
wanna
I
make
agree with
$1
you.
billion.
I said that before. What was it? Batman v Superman combined Batman and Superman, number 1 and number 2 of the top 3, right? Or 2 and 3, whatever. The top 2 of the top 3, plus Wonder Woman, and you do less than $1 billion from the Nolan movies. Like the math never made sense to me, right?
Mhm.
But that was when they had potential to do $1 billion, right? Now
Yeah.
it's been a while, and Aquaman 2 failed to do it, and Joker 2 failed to do it. So
And
I mean,
Wonder
you look-
Woman
they got to
2 failed
readjust
do it, yeah.
expectations. Yeah. You're right.
No,
a
I
little
don't
biased.
disagree. They need to adjust,
God.
but I don't think they want to adjust.
This chart is so biased. It's ridiculous. I stumbled upon the Snyder Cut Reddit.
Don't.
I'm like, oh my
lie.
god.
Don't click on anything. Snyder.
Well, because it his numbers. So
Place, Jim.
it's got Aquaman. Yeah, Aquaman was the actual DCEU last $1 billion movie, because Joker's doesn't
Well,
count.
Joker doesn't count, right?
Yeah, everything else has been like 390 million for Shazam, 363 for Black Adam. I'm sorry, 390 for Black Adam, 363 for Shazam. The films before, like the best was Batman versus Superman for 872. Did 872 worldwide. So it's, like I said, I think they'll be ecstatic to see.
There'll be a
Man of Steel
stat-
did
700 million.
667. So you get in the
What did the Batman
750s
do?
for
I know it's not DC.
Oh, the
but
Batman
what did
did
the Batman do?
772 worldwide.
Okay.
So if you get in the 700s, they're gonna be very happy, very happy. 800s, they'll be
They'll
ecstatic.
be
I'll go.
fine. I just think they're not going to be happy. I don't think
Yeah.
ecstatic is. I think going on.
Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, I don't really care about WB executives being happy or not. I'm just saying the
Yeah.
company itself. I think
Should
James
be.
Gunn
They
and
should be
his partner
happy.
would be happy with doing 700 million.
Right.
Because you're
Yeah.
you're trying to turn shit into
They should
gold, and
also-
it doesn't happen overnight.
Budget appropriately for those expectations as well.
Yeah, sure, absolutely. I mean, we talked about that before. How you go over that $200 million mark and you are taking a lot of risk for no reason.
Yeah.
Because the return on investment just becomes exponentially harder the more you get above 200.
Your floor is 600 at that point, essentially, isn't it? So, all right. I think it's going to wrap it up for this Moviecast episode, folks. Thanks for tuning in. Once again, we're live on Twitch Tuesday nights at 8 o'clock. We have the Gamecast coming up, so stay tuned for that. If you're watching this on YouTube, subscribe. We appreciate it, guys. We'll see you guys over on the Gamecast.